Good morning. Yeah, we're Opolis. We are an employment cooperative. We're an employment cooperative for the next generation of workers, especially people who work for DAOs. So this morning we're going to talk a little bit about how you can work for DAOs and keep the tax man happy, and then also make your life eminently more easy. So we believe that the future of work really is DAOs. More people than ever are trading traditional employment to go into Web3 full time, right? Every day on Twitter you see somebody saying, I'm leaving my full-time job, I'm going to go flip JPEGs on the internet and make millions of dollars. And some of them do, which is great. As part of this trend, what we've seen is more and more people are working full-time for DAOs as more and more projects and protocols in this space are run by DAOs. People realize that DeFi protocols, NFT protocols, etc., should generally be controlled by the community, which means really if you want to be a builder and participate in those protocols, you end up working for a DAO, which is exciting and amazing, but also comes with some challenges. This trend actually mirrors a much larger trend in employment over the past 20, 30 years. People are trading the 9 to 5, the 40 years with IBM or Microsoft or whoever for a freelance culture that gives them the flexibility to work when they want to work, where they want to work, and for whom they want to work. And the next evolution of this is, of course, people working for multiple DAOs, people making their own careers and their own incomes in Web3. So how do DAOs work? I mean, this is a hopefully pretty DAO knowledgeable audience, but DAOs are simple. I like to call them magic internet communities. I think that does better than decentralized autonomous organization, which sounds very technical, very impersonal, because at the center of a DAO, it's all about people coming together over a shared interest or shared product or project. They put together their assets, maybe in the form of a token, and then they use these decentralized governance tools to make decisions and allocate those resources and pay back all of the stakeholders that contribute to the DAO.
I'll do Patty.
Okay. Or I'll switch it up. I do want to say that this differs from the gig economy that we've previously seen. The gig economy was extremely promising when it first started. You know, I remember hearing about Uber and Lyft and all of these ways that you could make money on the side or have financial freedom. And really, it fell victim to the same old kind of Web 2 ethos where, you know, if you were the Uber driver, if you were the gig worker, you ended up being exploited by these rich Silicon Valley tech bros and their VCs who extracted most of the value from those ecosystems, which left, one, the gig workers at a loss, and two, the people using those services at a loss. You know, maybe for a while, Uber was a little bit cheaper than taxis, but that hurt the drivers. Now the drivers are doing a little bit better, but it's hurting the consumers. The only people not hurting are the executives, the early shareholders that made a ton of money on the IPO. And that's where we really believe DAOs will succeed where the traditional gig economy failed. DAOs are about allocating value across the ecosystem and bringing in these kind of stakeholder economies so that not only do the people kind of working for the DAO, the developers, the community people, benefit and share in the economic promise, but all of the various stakeholders do. And that's what we believe at Opolis and why we've designed the system we have. So how do you work for a DAO? That's the big problem, and that's the problem that Opolis solves. Right? Most DAOs, like true DAOs, not people LARPing as DAOs, exist as ephemeral internet organizations. Again, it's people from all over the world that have found something that they mutually love and have committed to put resources towards that thing they love and coordinate online to get it done. And because of Web3, they can coordinate trustlessly with native internet money. But we also still live in the real world where if you want a house, you probably have to go to a traditional bank and get a mortgage. You know, if you want a car, you've got to get a car loan. If you need to pay your rent, you probably have to pay your rent in fiat. So where Opolis comes into the picture is we provide that bridge between the ephemeral DAO world and let it stay decentralized, but allow the workers and the contributors to DAOs to have something mirroring more traditional employment. So you really get the best of all worlds. So I'll let Josh talk about Patty, who's our prototypical DAO worker.
So what Bill just described as the theoretical and the future and how DAOs are structured and how you can work for a DAO, but we need to get into the practical, who is this for, why does it work? So previously, so Patty is she's a developer or a graphic designer or whatever, who works for a few different clients, probably has a decent suite of benefits, but is paying a lot for them because she's negotiating with the benefits or brokers one-on-one. Her benefits are costing her over $3,600 a year. This is not a specific person, but we do have a few members who have joined the cooperative who are paying over $3,000 just for basic health care. Has multiple 401ks. I don't know if this is something that you all can relate to, going from job to job. But this is the problem. These things are all over the place. It's not cohesive. There's not really a straightforward plan. Oh, we cut out the second slide. All right. But when Patty joins Opolis, what she's able to do is we help her wrap herself in an LLC that elects S or C Corp, which allows her to become an employee of her company. That company joins the cooperative, and now she's able to access our benefits: health, dental, vision, retirement accounts. We do all the tax and compliance, withholding, payroll taxes. This is mostly applying to the United States, and as we grow internationally, we have these specific things to consider in each of the new jurisdictions that we join. But in the US, it's Social Security, Medicare, unemployment insurance, workers' compensation. So if Patty has some sort of keyboard accident, that would be covered. But as a freelancer, she's kind of shit out of luck and on her own. As Bill mentioned, maybe she wants to buy a house. So if she's working for a couple DAOs, getting paid in DAI or wrapped X DAI, how is she going to go to a mortgage broker and say, I'd like to buy a house, this is my income? And they're going to say, that's not income, that's magic internet money that doesn't count for the real world. But she's now got a W-2 from the cooperative, and instead of saying, I got all this money from crypto, it's literally just a W-2 and pay stubs from the cooperative in fiat. And so she just hand that over to an underwriter. We have had 5 members to date who have said that they've been able to secure mortgages or leases, and 2 who have said that they've gotten car loans approved. So when you've got a DAO, this is a kind of visualization of the structure of how it would work. You have many different contributors who are contributing to a DAO, and if a DAO is not, if you form a group of people who are working together on a thing and they are not incorporated in any way, which a lot of DAOs just are, do you know how that's treated? Does anyone know? Yeah, a general partnership, which is not great because then it exposes your entire life to the DAO. So if the DAO does something illegal and the government's now coming after the DAO for damages, all the individual members of the DAO are liable for the actions of the DAO. But when you can participate and contribute to a DAO as an LLC, you now have this limited liability shield that's helping protect your personal assets from your professional life, which is another one of the great things that we're able to do for Patty in this example. by regularly distributing payroll, instead of, you get this you get 10,000 DAI, and you're like, all right, I'm supposed to stretch this out for a few months. But through the cooperative, you get an invoice twice a month for your pay to move money from your corporate entity over here on the left to your personal entity over here on the right. And so it helps kind of professionalize your life and be able to keep track of money a little bit easier. Are there any questions about how this structured work? Okay, so I just answered the why LLCs and S corps, and the potential tax advantages. So when you're self-employed in the U.S., you're paying 20 to 25% self-employment tax, and you're getting a giant bill in April, and the government says, here, this is how much you owe based off of what you earned. But inside of the cooperative, you're paying on a W-2 style income. So you're getting taxes withheld as part of your paycheck twice a month. And then you don't get that surprise bill. And you're paying payroll taxes and the Social Security Medicaid, which comes out to a little bit lower than what the self-employment taxes are.
So what we're basically pitching is let DAOs be DAOs. Let them stay ephemeral. Let them remain at the magic internet community level until some state or country in the US creates a way for a DAO to be a legal entity but maintain all of its DAOiness, which doesn't exist yet. Our thing is, let the DAO be a DAO, wrap yourself in that LLC and S corp. That way, you get the individual protection, the DAO doesn't have to worry about you, and the DAO can be whatever it wants. The nice thing about what Opolis is we're also a DAO. So the Employment Commons LCA is an entity. It's a Colorado cooperative. And we chose that because it fit the ethos of the DAO more than any other entity type. And we need the entity type so that we can pay you payroll and all of that good stuff. But at the end of the day, for you, that means not only are you joining a community, but you're actually an owner of the DAO that is paying your payroll. We want to live the values that we are trying to push out into the world. So all of our members are members of the Employment Commons DAO, they're owners of the Employment Commons DAO, and that allows us at some point to give back the revenue and give back profits to the members of our DAO in a legal and compliant way. So now we've fixed Patty's issues, right? She can get paid in crypto from whatever DAO she works for. Opolis will convert whatever it needs to convert to fiat, to pay the tax people, to pay for her benefits, and then she can take the rest in crypto, fiat, some mix of the two, whatever suits her lifestyle. And Patty doesn't have to worry about any of this. She doesn't have to try and do her own payroll or, go through Gusto and set up stuff every 2 weeks. She just sets it and forgets it. She gets benefits negotiated at a group rate because now she's part of a strong community of freelancers who are all working together on this employment DAO, even though we do all the hard work and they just get to benefit from that community, from the power of the commons. Yep.
And one of the other things this does is it takes a lot of pressure off of the DAOs. I don't know if you're familiar with in the example from earlier, Uber and Lyft. California passed this law, AB 5, that was trying to make it so that contractors had more rights. It didn't end up working because they were able to play with the Prop 22 and end up coming ahead. But what it did do for the non-exempt, the not rideshare drivers, is it made it harder to engage in these freelance opportunities, which made it more difficult for freelancers because the state of California was saying, if you are working for this company more than an extended period of time, you need to get benefits from that company. And what we're doing is we're essentially taking Patty and making her like a mini Deloitte or Accenture, this like a B2B relationship that she's forming with the DAO. The DAO no longer has to worry about employing anybody because they're just forming these B2B relationships, which they're already doing, just without the legal framework. And that's what we're able to provide.
Yeah, so Patty gets the advantages of being a freelancer, having complete control over her work life, but still the benefits and experience of an HR department as if she were working for a traditional Web 2 company and didn't have to worry about tracking her own payroll or negotiating her own benefits. So in summary, what we want to leave you all with is our thing right now is let DAOs be DAOs. Put the entities, put the compliance at the individual level, and let us handle the compliance for you so that you can focus on being the best community person, the best developer, the best JPEG flipper that you can possibly be. We want to protect the individuals by using LLCs and S-Corps, right? We don't want people to have unlimited liability just because they're working on the future of finance and the future of art. And then, like we said, we want to give them all of the benefits of working for a big corporation, but maintain their freedom. We don't want people to have to go out and fight for health care or the benefits that they would get at a big company. We want them to have those, and we want to use the power of community to negotiate great rates for those so that we can pass on those savings.
All right, so what is the call to action? What is it you may be sitting here thinking, how can I get involved in this? Does my DAO have to approve of it? And the answer is no. The DAO or whatever entity that you're working for is not the client, it's not the customer, it's not the member. You, as an individual, will become the member. So whether you're contributing to one DAO or many DAOs, the DAO doesn't have to opt in. In many cases, a few of the DAOs have become our partners to help onboard their members. Shapeshift, Gitcoin, Maker, the list that goes on, Badger, there's a lot of them. But they're not the customer. We're not taking a fee from any of them. What they're doing is they're just making Opolis available to their contributors, to their members, so that the individual contributors can be compliant and be able to access our suite of benefits as well as work and payroll mining compliantly.
Yep, so to make this call to action real, the QR code leads to a time or a Calendly where you can set up time to talk with Josh, who runs our community and helps onboard new members and DAOs, or myself. We would love to talk to you. Right now, we're just in the US. We're moving to Canada pretty quickly. But even if you're not in the US, if you're in Western Europe, we would still love to talk to you because we're trying to figure out where to go next and how we can solve the problems that exist for freelancers and other people that work for DAOs and work in the Web3 space. All right, thank you.